If you come into kitchen when you're playing basement and you prone on the reinforced hatch and throw your Valkyrie camera below the shelf just like this Valkyrie camera can see the entrance into freezer as well as anyone trying to get the hatch. And unless they prone, they actually can't see this Valkyrie camera, making it to where it's almost impossible to shoot it for any attackers. Now that was just one out of 30 different Valkyrie cameras that I'll be going over in today's video for Clubhouse. Now, although this camera is super good for kitchen, there's an even better one. All you have to do is go to this light bulb right here and throw your Valkyrie camera under the light bulb. Now, Valkyrie cameras that are on light bulbs are very hard to spot because the light completely drowns out the Valkyrie camera, and from an attacker POV, when you don't know that it's there, it kind of just looks like it is the light bulb. And you'd be surprised, Valkyrie cameras on light bulbs tend to never get shot. If you can throw it to where it appears on the very bottom of the light bulb here too, and not in front of it like it just was earlier, then it looks even more hidden and even more a part of the light bulb, and they definitely will not see it unless they're specifically looking for it. And as you can see, it sees pretty much everywhere in the kitchen, a lot more than you could see with the previous camera. The only issue is that it can't see into the main hallway, which is not at all an issue for the Valkyrie camera that goes next to the restroom stall just right here. This Valkyrie camera can see all the way into the main hallway, as well as the doorway, so if you ever want to flank to kitchen, get on this camera first and you'll be able to get some free kills and information. It can also pretty easily see into bathroom. But there's an even better Valkyrie camera if you want to see more of bathroom, which is the Valkyrie camera that goes along this wooden chase right here. Whenever you walk in through the doorway, it is actually hidden behind this white beam right here, and whenever you walk further in, it's hidden by the other white beam, and if they're going through this doorway, they're never going to look in the top right, they're always just going to keep their crosshair on the hallway, so they're never going to find that Valkyrie camera. If you get on it, it can clearly see into all of bathroom, and you even get some cool visuals on the graffiti that wasn't visible before. The only thing that it can't see into is bar. If you come into bar, there's a few Valkyrie cameras that I can show you. The first of which is going to go on this spotlight next to the bear rug inside of stage, where you'll look at the spotlight while hugging the wall just like this and throw your Valkyrie camera on it. If done correctly, it should honestly just look like it's part of the spotlight, and most attackers won't find it. This Valkyrie camera can not only see all of stage and upper stage, but it can also see pretty much all of bar except for the hatch. Not only this, but it can also see into pool table, which is cool, especially if you're playing inside of the site of bar, which I don't know why you would ever do that. An even better camera for bar though is the one to the left side of these speakers on stage, just like this. The reason it's so good is because unless they get exactly right here, they won't be able to see the Valkyrie camera whenever they walk into bar at all. It's very nice. But as you can see, the Valkyrie camera can clearly see them when they walk in from the double door, as well as anybody inside of bar and anybody on the hatch, and anybody on stage. The only thing that it can't see is the majority of lobby and lounge. Unlike this next camera, where you'll shoot out the TV on top of the bar chase just like that. Then, you'll throw your camera on top of the wall, just like this. This camera can see all of bar, it can see all of stage, and it can see all the way into lobby and lounge. The only issue is it can't really see the majority of lounge, which is where the next Valkyrie camera under the table just like this comes in. This Valkyrie camera is great because even when you're crouched, you can't see it, especially when you're standing up. This thing is almost invisible. But the Valkyrie camera can still see anybody that is inside of lounge, as well as anybody inside of the blue secret stairs. But the only thing it can't see is inside of stock. This next Valkyrie camera can see stock though. What you'll do is you'll prone and you'll throw your Valkyrie camera inside the vending machine after shooting out the glass like I clearly did here. As you can see, you can clearly see inside of stock, which is outstanding. But you can't see the majority of the rest of stock, which is where this next camera comes in. You're just going to throw it straight on the light bulb just like this. Like I said, when it comes to light bulbs, they are your friend with Valkyrie cameras. And when you get on the camera, it can see literally everywhere inside of stock, including the hatch, and if the hatch is broken, you can even see down the hatch. So in terms of a stock camera, this is the best you will ever get. It's really good specifically if you're trying to play the basement so you can see when they get the hatch. Another place people have to push if they want to get to the basement is blue, or generator, whatever you want to call it. This is where you throw a Valkyrie camera right here inside of blue. This Valkyrie camera specifically can't get shot from the hatch because it's so high up, but it also allows you to see all of blue stairs, even into armory, as well as the generator and anybody inside of oil pit. But it can't see the majority of oil pit, which is where this next camera in the top left of oil pit just like this gets its usage. This camera, because of how dark it is, blends in perfectly with the dark lip around the grating of oil pit. So really, you can put it in any specific corner that you want to. I just found lighting wise that this was the best one that kept it the most hidden. Once you get on this camera, you can clearly see all of oil pit except for this corner right here. But because there's way more cover in this corner than there is in this corner, people typically will sit in this one instead. So it doesn't really matter. Another place that they have to push if they want to take the basement is dirt, which is where our next Valkyrie camera will go. And if you haven't guessed already, you're gonna put it on the light bulb. This camera is not only good because it's on a light bulb, but it's also great because you can see the majority of dirt. You can see when they come in through the wall, and you can see right when they're next to the doorway, just like I am right here. The only thing that this Valkyrie camera here can't see is the majority of armory, which is where this camera next to the ammo box right here comes in. This Valkyrie camera is hidden because it's next to two different boxes, the ammo box and the shelf right here. But it's specifically good because it can see all of the hallway and the bottom of main stairs, while still giving you sound calls for the entirety of armory. If you don't use your mic to give sound call information to your teammates, then you'll want a camera that can actually see all of armory. Which, you guessed it, is the camera that goes on the light bulb. This camera can see all of AK rack, all of box 1, box 2, box 3. It can see into dummies. It can even see a little bit of the blue door there. It can also see the back of armory, the default plant, the bomb chassis, the rotate. It can see anything that you want to see when it comes to holding armory. It can even see a little bit into church as well. It's a great camera. If you want to see the majority of church though, then you should put it on this light bulb right here inside of the display case for church. Once you've broken the glass just like I have, you can literally just put it right there. It's great. Not only is this camera pretty hidden because it's on top of a light like we said, but also that light is just as bright on low settings. So it's not like you have to have super high settings for this to be hidden. It's really, really nice. When you get on this camera, like I said, it can see everywhere into church. It can see moto, a blue rotate, the hallway, the rotate in the hallway. It can see both of the default plants, the wall, pretty much everywhere you need a camera for church, this camera right here can see. If you're not a fan of cameras that are on light bulbs though, you can optionally throw a camera below the cabinet just like this, which can easily see all of church, and more importantly, it can see the door leading into moto. This camera can see all of church and even the door into moto. It provides mostly the same information, but it's not on a light bulb. Like I said earlier, it can see into moto, which is huge. But there's an even better cam for moto. This camera is actually not on a light bulb. It's actually below the motorcycle next to the tire, just like that. This Valkyrie camera looks like it's just part of the motorcycle, so no one will really shoot it. An even cooler part is I'm on main stairs right now, and if you get on this camera, you can clearly see anybody that's on main stairs. You can see my legs, my arms, and you can, more importantly, just see me, which is great for a moto camera because not only does it give you information for moto and the hatch drop, but it also gives you information for main stairs. Now, we've been talking about nothing but cameras for playing the basement site. So let's talk about some cameras for the more popular site, upstairs in CC. In order to push CC, they need to take rafters control, which is very important. So having a Valkyrie camera here is crucial. What I like to do is I'll put a Valkyrie camera to the right side of these pipes just like this. When you put it to the right side of these pipes, it makes it to where people on this doorway and on the wall and even below right here can't shoot the Valkyrie camera. They can only shoot the Valkyrie camera once they walk up the stairs. And if they do that, their crosshair is going to be on the door and on the head holes. So they won't shoot this camera unless they go below. Getting on this camera though, you can see all of rafters. You can see top rafters, 90, you can see the doorway, you can see bottom rafters, you can see oil pit, even below rafters. It's a great Valkyrie camera. The only thing that I can really partially see though is the doorway right there. So if you like Valkyrie cameras that go next to pipes, then this next Valkyrie camera you'll love. All you have to do is stand about like R2, R3-ish, and then you can throw the Valkyrie camera right where my crosshair is exactly. If you stand about, let's say like R3 area, you should be able to aim your crosshair right about here. When you aim your crosshair here, the Valkyrie camera should go behind the pipes, kinda somewhat, and then it'll stick to the ceiling. This Valkyrie camera gets a clear view of that doorway, so if you notice they're pushing that doorway a lot, this Valkyrie camera is a lot better than the other one that we talked about earlier. If, however, you're more worried about the bottom walls, or maybe just information on actual rafters itself, then you'll love the Valkyrie camera that goes on this exit sign right here. Now this may seem really obvious, but from an attacker's POV, they can actually only see the Valkyrie camera when they walk up to the doorway. But if they're here, they're going to be aiming at rafters, so they're never going to shoot this Valkyrie camera. When you get on the Valkyrie camera, like I said, it can see all of top rafters and it can see all of bottom rafters on the wall. So if they love running Kappa Tower Grim with hard breaching charges to flush out anyone on rafters, this Valkyrie camera specifically is great for that. If they want to push CC specifically though, they also need to find a way to push red stairs. And like I said, if you see a light bulb, Valkyrie cameras are great on them. Throw a Valkyrie camera on the light bulb, and when you get on it, you can see all of lounge, lower lounge, or sewer, whatever you want to call that, and top red, and more importantly, the red stairs, which is really good if they're pushing downstairs a lot, maybe trying to play some vert when they attack the CC bomb site. So I personally love this camera. And from an attacker's POV, that honestly just looks like a light bulb. It does not look like a Valkyrie camera unless you're playing Valkyrie and you know it's there. The most common place that attackers will push though to get into CC is through the CC wall. So you need a Valkyrie camera inside of here, and no, it's not just going to go on the light bulb, but arguably it could. Where it's actually going to go is above the PC here and below the shelf, right about there. This Valkyrie camera specifically is just meant to watch the breach, so if they love playing Kali, Blackbeard, Maverick, or just running in through the wall, this Valkyrie camera specifically is great. It also gives an audio call if anyone hops in through the window, so if you like audio call cameras, personally I do, then this camera definitely is for you. Not only do you need a camera for CC, but you also need one for the other bomb site, Cache. In order to do this, come actually down into stock. To make it a little easier for you, I've made vert so that you can see parts of Cache. Now what you want to do is aim right about here, because you're throwing your Valkyrie camera right below the desk just like this. The reason you do this is because when you look up, you can actually get a full 360 view of everybody inside of Cache. And you can even get an audio call when they push the construction door, which is right about over there. If you want to be able to see all of construction though, then you're going to put a Valkyrie camera on a light bulb. Now optionally you can put it on that light bulb too. The only issue with that one is that it doesn't actually see the door or the wall over here, so I personally like putting it on this light bulb instead. Now this, I mean, is just a peak example of why you throw Valkyrie cameras on light bulbs. That just looks like a light bulb. You cannot tell me that that looks like a Valkyrie camera. That just looks like a light bulb. Anyways, when you get actually on the camera, you can see that it looks at all of construction, as well as both of the walls and the doorway leading into the site, which is great for a Valkyrie camera. The only thing it can't see though is the master door. So if you're playing inside of bedroom, you'll want a camera inside of here. Personally, what I'll do is I'll prone inside of master and I'll throw a Valkyrie camera below this little nightstand right here. This Valkyrie camera allows you to see the top of main stairs, the entrance into site, as well as the rotate in the bathroom, but more importantly, it allows you to see through the feet holes that are typically on this wall right here, which is great in a post-plant scenario whenever you're trying to figure out where exactly in gym they planted and where they're sitting so that you can get a free retake. The only thing that it can't really see into is 90, where you're going to throw a cam on this little exit sign just like this. This camera not only blends in with the light super well, but if they're actually inside of 90, they can't see the camera, but you can clearly see them. You can see the breach, you can see into gym for the reason that we talked about earlier, and you can see all of 90, which is super good. The only issue here is you can't see the main stairs, which is really bad because attackers can sit all the way down on main stairs and shoot anybody inside of the bedroom, so you'll definitely want a specific camera for main stairs. The camera in question you're going to actually put above this pipe right here by getting on the staircase and aiming a little bit higher than you think the camera will sit, and then throwing your camera. Oh shit. Right about here is fine, and then just throwing your camera. Right about here is fine, and then just throw your camera. This camera will sit above the pipe, and because it's in a dark corner, it's actually pretty hidden. Most people can't see that. When you get on the camera though, you can easily see the majority of main stairs, even parts of the downstairs hallway and the upstairs hallway, and even into the side door, which is really nice. Now the only other room that they could possibly push to pinch the site of Master and Gym is Logi, where we have the genius and super original idea of throwing a Valkyrie camera on a light bulb. Now this is the last light bulb one, I promise. When you get on this camera, you can clearly see all of Logi and even on the Logi hatch. More importantly though, you can see the left side of Logi where a rotate typically is, so you can even get a little view into construction, especially if someone makes the mistake of putting the rotate on their right side instead of the left side. The only issue is that the camera can't really see the gold rotate. So if you want a camera that can do that instead, just put it above the server rack right here. This camera can see the gold rotate, the Logi rotate, as well as the main stairs door and the hatch drop. So if anything, it's honestly better than the light bulb one that we just went over. But that's about it for all of the Valkyrie cameras. Check out this next video where I go over 30 Valkyrie cameras for Oregon. My name's Alka, and I hope I'll see you there. Later.